From that bloody prairie. Hunt that. Michael yelling there, hunt him away, hunt him away. I'd be hanging on to the bloody aerial then. I'd let it go after the race is over.
Anyway, I was going to tell you this story about Jerry Watts and Kathleen. That was Jerry's wife. That was my grandfather and grandmother, Dad's mother and father. And Dad told us that old Jerry was always going to take the kids down to the river fishing one day. It was a promise, you know, because he liked a bit of wine in that, this old Jerry. He was a bit of a boozer. But anyway, the day came around that he was going to take all the kids down to for this river trip, for the fishing thing. So anyway, they packed up the gear and for this big day, and away they went. Of course, they only had a horse and dray to do this trip on. And they're going to go down to Memsie. That was down the other side of Bridgewater, about 6 or 7 miles, which is a long way in a dray. So anyway, they took off, and of course, out the road on the Arnold Road, just south of Inglewood, there was an old wine shanty there. And of course, Jerry couldn't refuse to go past this place, so he pulled the old dray up in the shade and went in and had a wine with some of the old codgers that would be there. And of course, this went on. This was about 9 o'clock, I think, in the morning they left home, and they were there all day. And the kids kept going into this place tell Dad to come out. They wanted to go down to the river to do this fish thing. And of course, Jerry said, "I'll be there in a minute." So at last, it came pretty late in the afternoon, and Jerry comes staggering out of this inn out there, and they put him in the dray, and he said, "We're not going down no fishing now. We're going home. Bugger the fishing." So they turned the dray around, and home they came. And of course, when they got home, Grandma was out to greet them, to see if they got any fish, and to more or less praise Jerry, I suppose, for taking the kids for the day, you know. And he's sound asleep in the bloody dray, this old bug. And the kids are that disappointed, and Grandma, of course, she was terribly disappointed that Jerry let them all down, you know, on that one day.
Was it all the kids in the cart?
All in the dray they were. There was.
So it was all
So that would have
family.
been 9 of them. 9.
There was 9, yeah. There was Uncle Poz, and there was Uncle Les and Uncle Joe and Dave, and it was
Harry.
There'd be Harry, and I suppose Auntie Kath and Lena. They all went. The whole lot of that family. And they played around out there all day, you know, in the dirt and dust, and Jerry in there drunk as a lord, you know. Talk about it turned out. Grandma never forgave him for that, you know. He reckoned he was a horrible man after that.
And
anyway, that was that little yarn.
And who was it used to chase you with the rooster's head cut off on a stick or something? Who was that one?
Oh, Jerry used to do that. Old Jerry, I'd go over there, you know, and Jerry had grabbed me, and he always had a rooster's head up on the mantelpiece. A rooster's head was cut right off.
It's like a real one. Alive.
And he'd grab this head off the mantelpiece, he'd grab me, and he'd poke it at my eyes and my face, and he had the hell scared out of me with his rooster. I tried to go over there. And he was a tormenting old bugger.
He was, and he used to give me the Chinese burn. You know, that Chinese burn.
Oh, yeah,
thing?
twist.
You know, he really was a cruel old man in some ways, if you think about it, particularly to his grandchildren. And I remember that. And because the most vivid memories I have of Grandpa Watts is him lying dead in the front room.
Yes,
in
I
the
remember
coffin.
him.
And they carried him out through the window.
They couldn't get him through the door in the passageway, so they opened the window and they brought him out through the window on the left-hand side of that house there. Still there today, that same house.
Yes, I remember that quite vividly.
But Grandma was a very placid sort of a woman.
Very.
You know, she'd put up with old Jerry.
Grandma couldn't yell, which always amazed me. She could never raise her voice, and I used to sometimes think she perhaps had something wrong with her voice because she never raised it.
She's one of those women. And Mum told us another story about and Dad about Jerry, because he used to drink all this. You know, a terrible man to drink, drink wine and drunk all the time. Anyway, Grandma used to make her own bread, and this particular time she had a great big bowl of bread, sort of yeast and that all fermenting up to make the bread the next day, you know. because you'd make it this day and cook it the next day. It had all ferment in this big bowl. Of course, Jerry came home drunk, and he said, "What's all this on the bloody table here? You know, this big bowl of bread. Bloody kids are not getting no bread here." And he grabbed all this stuff with a handful and he hauled it out in the yard of the ducks and geese, and there's bread going everywhere, all this dough. And Grandma had to turn around later on and make another lot.
Oh.
After he'd gone to bed and
She
gone to
put
sleep.
up with a lot, didn't she?
He was a terrible old bloke, you know, for this caper.
And
Does anyone know where they met? When
I
they
know.
first-
Well, they were married in Castlemaine, weren't they, Fred?
No, they were married here.
You mean Grandpa? We're talking about Jerry.
Yes. Yes,
I thought Grandma was married
Jerry
in
must have been a
Castlemaine.
bastard. The man
born
he's only
there.
one in the
They were
news.
born in Castlemaine. Oh,
Yeah, we weren't talking about Jerry.
Yeah, we haven't. Has anybody got anything good to say about Grandpa Jerry?
well,
I can't
Joe-
remember him because
see, Peter wouldn't remember him at all.
no, he
No.
died in 1932. Joe often said that old Jerry was that all was running him down and all this. He said, but he had a bloody good family. That was
But
old-
he did
See,
too.
he did. There was no all good people. Yet he was an old bastard.
What did he do for a job, Jim? You know?
He was a bloody gutter snob. Like sweeping the gutters on the council.
Okay.
That's all he done, yeah. Horse and day.
Council work.
Yes,
That's
I
all,
recently found
Good work, they reckon.
the application that he put in for the job. Had been filed away with the council, Inglewood Council papers. They were all folded up, all these papers, and put away in pigeonholes, and there were thousands of them. So we straightened them out there in the last few months. So I was very pleased to find that. And also, I haven't got it quite straight because their signatures seem to be the same. This George Watts, and there are all these accounts that George Watts put in for supplying gravel and stone and other things for the council it was then, or borough really. It was the borough of Inglewood, and these go back to the late 70s, the 80s. But if it was grandfather applied for the job around about 80, he was married in 1880, around about 1884, something like that. So what he was doing before, I don't know. I think he must have worked with his father, if they were supplying gravel and things around. And he spelt gravel Gravil, incidentally. Always.
I wouldn't know it was spelled right or wrong. How would I know it was spelled right?
The other thing about grandfather was that he was very jealous of grandma's brother, who was the cripple, Mike Fally. And he was very jealous because Mike got a lot of attention from grandma, of course, and he couldn't do anything for himself, and he was very jealous. And when Uncle Les supplied him with a wireless way back in the first
He was the
days,
first one in the family to have
he was the first one to have one.
Yes.
And he put up a fairly high pole for the antenna or whatever for the reception. And grandfather must have spotted it down the road. He was walking back home from work and spotted it somewhere halfway down the road. He was fuming by the time he got into the house. He was just about beside himself. I don't know all the facts, whether he shook the pole or whatever. He didn't do anything violent, but he was
So
mad
he
with
didn't,
rage.
the crippled brother didn't live with them.
No, he had a hut, which was in
Yeah.
Noah's place till fairly recent times. And yes,
But speaking of that cat whiskey we're talking about, with the wireless,
yes,
had earphones on. We used to sit
That's
on
right.
old Mike's bed.
very
Yes,
early.
we did.
We all sat there, most of us, but
Yeah.
bar Peter
Yes.
might have been on or something.
Yeah,
And we're sitting up there, not a bloody murmur, you know. Christ, I can't hear what.
nobody could hear
And I'd grab, nobody could hear anything under another bucket there. We all had to wake our turn. It was something bloody terrible, you know.
Yeah.
Like all not out of, you couldn't hear if I said not any noise, you know. And I'd have a go and I'd say, shoot, I can't hear. And turn the fucking cat whiskey on and oh, Jesus, oh, Christ.
And then there was the day when I was there, when the rooster got on the roof and started crowing and going on just as the cup was being run. Oh, I don't think he knew for a while what won the cup.
That was Jack.
He loved the racing, didn't he?
Oh, Mike,
Jack,
was,
oh,
right in
Yeah,
the right,
do you
but-
remember Mike?
I can remember Mike, yeah. And he
Yeah,
used to have, he had the photos up of the dogs playing the cards all around in the hut.
He did too.
and all these racehorses and that. And that's all he was sort of interested in was racehorses.
Right.
Always mad
And
on
he'd go
racehorses,
down
he
the
was.
street. He had one of those, what do you call them?
Wheelchair.
Wheelchair with a box on the back. You
Yeah.
know, that was where he kept his papers and what have you.
Yeah, I don't know whether he could read or not. I don't know.
Well,
he knew all
No, he
horses,
couldn't
though,
read,
you
I
know.
don't think.
But he
He knew
was
by
a
the name,
champion
apparently.
chess player, wasn't he,
Yeah.
Fred? A champion.
Well,
No one could
drafts-
beat him.
drafts,
Drafts,
really.
I beg your
Yeah,
pardon.
the priest used to
Drafts.
come up and visit him a fair
Yes.
bit too.
Well, of course, after Grandma died, it was Mum then. You know, this started coming to our mother, who took, you know, she did a wonderful job. She had a large family, yet she found time to look after Uncle Mike, and I think that was you know, we just sort of all took that for granted. But Mum must have been an amazing woman to have done it.
Was that
Yeah.
hut always at the back of it?
It was moved over
Okay.
Yes, from the other
from
side.
Grandma to the backyard, and Mum used to look after him, do his washing, you know, clean his hut and give him meals.
Yeah, she did.
And look after us as well. And I don't think we ever thought anything of it.
No.
Here comes the other brother.
She had to go out in the rain
Ready on that?
and
Coming on the
I
moon.
didn't know how they moved that
She
hut all
was
the way down,
marvellous.
really.
Yeah, I don't know.
How they moved that hut? Does anybody know
I've
that?
no idea.
Because they-
Brick by brick, because it's mud.
No, it was a,
Oh, but it was
Yeah.
slabs, wasn't it? It wasn't.
yes.
I don't know how they
They
got
got
it
all-
over there.
Part of the
All the bits.
they got the bloke over Teddy Bowman's. He was a nightman at that time.
Oh, he moved.
Oh, is
They
that
got
it?
an old truck, and they brought it over on the back of this old truck.
Did they?
Sort of skidded it on the back and sort of
Well,
half
that's how they done
This is bringing the hut.
it. I wonder how they got that over.
Incidentally, when are we off? Are we?
No, you're right.
When Mike died,
Julie.
apparently he was taken to the hospital on the night cart.
Was he?
He was on the back of this same night cart of this ship's
Yeah.
truck.
That's a bit new.
They had no other transport to get him up there. And of all the things in the world, they used to do the sandpaper around the town. They put
number
Mike on the
one.
back and an old bit of a stretcher
Oh.
thing, an old mattress.
Isn't
number
And
that,
up to the hospital he went on the old night cart, you know.
isn't that sad?
Oh, it was something awful. I
You might have to
suppose.
explain to the viewers what a night card is.
Well, who'd like to explain what a night cart is?
Well,
Jim, you got any experience?
Yes, I've done it for years.
no, he was the chief. He worked on one.
It's a pan system.
The fan system.
And all I used to do was sort the turds out.
The big ones and the little ones.
I done Puckapandu.
Puckapandu,
Puckapandu, all the army, all that mob, yeah. Night lines and Christ knows what, you know. Born to it.
What about the beer bottle? You dip your hand in and get the
Yeah,
pans
all
to get the
bottles
beer
of
bottle
beer
out, didn't
all
you?
the tip, all the
Tip all
fluff
the-
out.
Way out, like.
Sometimes I'd have a drink, but suck it
Carlton
away,
bitter.
and oh God. Foster's beer, Melbourne bitter.
Did you ever see any condoms in the
Huh?
No condoms.
Oh, millions. Even up at the presbytery.
A new member?
A new member.
Yes. You
I got
just
nothing
a
to say,
little bit of
really.
Introduction and when you
Well,
were born and
only
who you
I-
are and how old you are.
I'd like to
Go on.
ask Jack, you know the time we went over to Grandma's to listen to Freddie in the Victorian Spelling Bee Championship, incidentally he did win. Why did we go to Grandma's sort of a wash house, wasn't it? Because the radio was set up in there. Can you remember why we didn't go into the house, we went into that little room?
I don't know why either.
No, I thought you might because you were involved with the radio at
something
that
like
time.
that.
But she was the only one
We
who
had
had a radio.
probably had the crystal set in there. And
Probably that's what it was.
I think it was all wired up there, wasn't it? Because the antenna wires, that was aerial wires were
Yeah.
there years later.
Yeah.
And they're all hooked up into that wash house. I suppose it was the easiest place for them to.
Yeah.
And we're all sitting around listening to Fred spelling.
Grandma died that year, didn't she?
I forget.
Since he might have.
1940.
Yeah. Was it?
In October.
Yeah.
I met her.
It was.
Well,
wasn't
Yeah, I went to the
Before or
funeral.
after?
Yeah, must be this night I went away, I think. 'Cause I went to the funeral.
it? And what was your prize that year, Fred, that you won that? What was the prize?
£50.
I thought it was 100.
No, 50.
£50 and a tin of biscuit.
I gave £5 away to
You
another
need it?
chap. He thought he was sort of what's the term? Like you sort of save something on the side, you know. If you think someone else might win, you get a $5 out of it anyway. So,
Down the bush over there.
so that's what happened. Yeah. Now, Jack.
I'll tell you, I was in the pub last night and the chap come up, they said about about, you know, someone lived in Inglewood all their lives and something. I just said, well, this fella's lived here for 76 years.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah. And this fella, well, you know, he was Windsor Munro's son.
Oh, good Lord.
God, bugger, I said, he was looking for someone that knew his father.
Oh,
And I said,
we all went to
God,
school.
bugger, I said, I knew your father well, I said.
Went to
I
school.
said, clever fella, because remember he used to have the old T4s and he put the accelerator on the old T4 and all that. It was very clever. And this fella's a bit of an engineer too.
He's lucky to strike you. Wasn't he?
And and he was going out to Morris Caves and he had a few minutes. I've got to tell him a lot more. You know, he said his father died at 80-something, Windsor.
Have you bloody right? Yeah.
Can't be long ago.
80-something.
Yeah.
And he was an engineer when he died.
Yeah.
And he was always talking about someone in Inglewood, Kathleen. Well, he must have an auntie or something, or a relation. I said, I didn't know any Kathleens.
Just the lands.
No, I mentioned the Lanzers, told him about the Lanzers and the...
Well, your auntie.
He said, remember him talking about Josh DeLands and Mrs. DeLands?
Yeah, all that, yeah.
Might have been Auntie
You
Cat.
weren't. You wasn't talking about Auntie Kath.
yeah,
She was
He
Kathleen.
might have been talking about
Because there weren't many Kathleens in.
I was telling him about us going to the Catholic school, you know, what Windsor's done. He put the... He used to flick the mud up on the seal and off his boots on the ruler and all that cape. And then he drove one day,
Put it
he
on the
drove
ruler and then flick it up.
and he drove the pen into the floor, and the nuns wanted to make him pick it out of the floor, and he wouldn't take it out.
I remember that.
He determined fella. He wouldn't do nothing for the nuns.
The time he had the steering wheel off the car. That was an old
yeah.
joke.
I never told him that one.
He had an old T4 and he used to go like mad up through the bush.
No, you know, in the back.
And he took this old Mrs. Munro.
His mother.
That was his mother, or was it Mrs. DeLand? One of them up there. They were in this old bus with him. He used to go and cart water in the back with an old drum and a bag over the top.
I didn't spell him. I didn't tell his mother's name was. I didn't
Anyway, the steering wheel on this old Ford didn't have the nut in the middle, and he'd be going like hell, you know, and they'd say, can't you slow down, Cheese? You'll be tipping us over. You take the wheel off and say, well, you drive the bloody thing. The wheel, go along with no steering wheel on it, and they're nearly going mad. This bloody old bus.
No, yeah.
And they grab the wheel off and put it back on the thing and get all of it.
But I couldn't tell him enough. It wasn't long enough to tell him these things.
No, you suppose you thought of a lot later.
Yes, I tell Reg and Monica about the things he'd done. I said, I'll tell him about when we went to get the water. You was in the car to get the water from Mr. DeLands and them down behind the cemetery.
That's
We
all
had the
that,
40-gallon drum and a 44.
The time they come out with the water, there's no bloody
No
water
one-
left.
all the
It's
two
jumped,
old-
they all bounced the
They
skin.
were
You know.
drowned. Mrs. Munro and Mrs. DeLands were soaking wet with this water splashing all over the whole corrugated road. They got no water.
Yeah, they're funny old people.
And about the fish, remember that?
Yeah,
Went fishing. Sold the fish to Mrs. DeLands.
So it went back again. got
Yeah,
the
she
pet.
cooked it. We got the fish and got the money for it. And went more petrol and went back. And, all this caper. But funny fella.
We've been through the great grandparents, your grandparents. So we're sort of thinking we'd try and get some stories now that you remember about your own parents
Yeah,
directly.
I wondered about Peter for that because he now his has been more our parents. Peter being the youngest. Peter, can you relate?
Well, really, if
anything about?
anybody remembers anything about your parents.
But Peter hasn't had a go.
Oh, Peter, we're
Yeah.
going to give you a go.
You're on the spot now.
Yeah, that is putting me on the spot because I only want to say good things about my parents. And that's not hard to do because my mum was really, Dad was pretty easy going. He never smacked my ass hard enough enough times. I don't think. But
Did you follow him
Do you
to work
remember
one
the
day?
time, about the time you went down to Bridgewell on a little bike with Dad, mate?
yeah,
It was a scooter converted into a bike.
yeah. Well, Dad made. I had a little pump up scooter, which was pretty flash in them days. But anyway, I started school. It was a bit far to go on a scooter to school. It was about a mile and a half, 2 miles from our place at school, I suppose. So Dad made a bracket up. He was pretty handy with these sort of things. No welders, but he used to rivet everything. And put a centre bracket off a bike on it and bolted a sprocket on the back wheel of the scooter. And
He actually
put a
turned
little carrier.
he turned the scooter into a push
He
bike.
made it into a
He did.
he made it into a pedal bike. Put a carrier off the back of a push bike for a seat. He used to have these tin carriers you could put on the back of an ordinary bike, and
I
he
have a photo
put
of it.
brackets on that. And so I used to ride that. That was
Got that scooter.
the chain used to fall off it if you sort of going a bit quick. I remember chasing Mick Treble in his old bean truck there one day. We should do about 10 mile an hour, and I just about caught him one day, and the chain come off. It was about top speed. Anyway, I used to ride this to school, and I come home from school one day and Mum said, can you go down to the butcher shop and get some sausages for tea? And so I don't know why I come to do this, but I went down, I got the sausages, and I come out of the butcher shop and I decided to go to Bridgewater to see the old man. My Bonza was working down there at the time. So I wanted to go down there and see them. So off I went down to Bridgewater, 4 mile on this little bike. It must have taken me about 2 hours to get down there. And,
With the sausages.
yeah, and I still got the sausages for tea. And
then Dad and them were going to knock off us about 5 and ride home from Bridgewater, and Peter was going down to meet them. And of course, it wasn't quite at Bridgewater, but Dad's coming along and seen this little kid on this bike coming down the road, nearly to Bridgewater. And
yeah, I was actually right down over the railway line. I was just actually right to the mill itself.
Well, you might have been. I don't know. You always said you're down the road.
Yeah, and I was actually got to virtually to the mill. You know,
oh, go on.
I see this kid coming into the mill in this little bike. That's what they found out who I was. So anyway, I think you rode home with me.
Well, I remember Dad put you and the scooter on, put the scooter on his back and had a dink you on because it'd be all night getting home and Mum's at home waiting for the sausage to cook for tea.
Oh, you know, I seem to got a hell of a row about this. I don't know why.
How old were you?
Oh, I'd be only about 6, I suppose.
Hey, little fella.
6 or 7 at the
I think
most.
the sausages was the problem.
Anyway, they all arrived home at the one time. The sausages, Dad and Peter, and Mum nearly going mad because there's no tea cooked.
Yes. But Dad, I always wanted a horse. And because Dad was mad on horses. He just talked to horses all the time, you know. And I wanted a horse. I used to play cowboys up in the bush, and I wanted to actually have a horse to ride around on, not just running around flapping my sides, making out I had a horse. And I got no fence, can't hold the horse in. And well, I'll fix the fence up. Well, will you give me a horse if I fix the fence? Oh, he must have said yes, or you think about it or something. Well, every night after school, I've got scrub and sticks and the whole fence is wire thing all sort of falling down, but I jacked it up and I patched it up with sticks, and took me about a fortnight to fix this fence up. And he come home from work one day, Dad, I got the fences ready for the horse. I fixed it up. Well, I don't know whether he even had, he'd probably seen what I was doing anyway. I thought, no, it's not good enough or something. And I reckon he was a mongrel. I wouldn't forgive him for months after that. I never got the horse.
Never got the horse.
Never got the horse.
He was riding. Oh, you took that.
Yeah, anyway. But otherwise, he's pretty good to me otherwise.
Circuses and that too. He loved circuses.
Yeah, he loves circuses.
Oh, yeah.
And making things for gymkhanas, you know, when you'd have a street procession. And he'd win a prize every year. He made an elephant, didn't he, one year? Yeah. And he'd have, but the boys would get, who got under the elephant and the camel? He made a camel one year, and I think it would have been you, Jack.
Oh, I forget now, all of us. No,
yes.
Was it?
For the legs, you know.
Did he dress the dogs up as well?
Yeah.
Yes,
cats and
he'd
dogs.
done the lot.
Cats and
I
cages.
think before my time, actually, I think he did have a circus. Like he had dogs in cages and all this sort of thing on the back,
We had our own circus.
back of a truck.
He always wanted to make a merry-go-round.
Did he? Yes.
He wanted to go on the road with a merry-go-round. Dad used to, didn't he? He used to talk about this merry-go-round. He's mad on him.
Yeah. And loved monkeys.
Yeah, he was going to buy me a monkey all my life. Never got the monkey.
He loved monkeys.
He reckoned monkeys were marvellous. And he promised me a monkey lots and lots of times. Never ever got this monkey. When he was drunk, you know, he came home and said, I'm going to get a monkey next week for you. You're going to have him here doing tricks. Oh, geez, I'm getting wound up with this monkey. Never seen the monkey. Dad was fascinated with monkeys because they are
That's a bit like grandfather.
clever little things.
Taking all the kids down fishing.
Yeah.
Get as far as the wine shanty hunt, was it? Back
Yes,
home.
well,
Back home.
yes, well, Bonds was told that.
That's a bloody flunky.
And remember how we used to all go swimming in the Star Dam and there were 2 dams, the Star Dam and the Union
That was
Dam,
Olympic
right?
Dam up
Well, I was learning to swim at the time, and you know, it was a bit of, I think I was worrying Mum a lot. And so this day she said, you are not going swimming. So she burnt me bathers. Stuck him in the stove in front of me and said, well, that's the finish of it. You're not to go anymore. Oh, I was very upset. You know, I found that very hard to accept. that anyone would do that. And they were new bathers. Yes. So that happened.
2 and 6 pence.
But I suppose I was. But the boys used to go swimming in the nutty, didn't you? I don't think
Yeah,
they
we
were all
were.
bathers.
We never had no
We
Nick.
never know.
No.
No, always in the nude.
Couldn't afford a pair of togs.
But Dad used to. I think they used to do things that we reckon were a bit cruel when we were kids, but you could see the point in it. See, I had that little pedal car, and I was just getting that big I could hardly get in it, but I still used to drive this pedal car everywhere. Even when I was younger, when I was only about 4, I used to go up to this railway station from home, about a mile, in this pedal car across the highway, and go up there and watch the train come in every morning. This went on for weeks till Mick Treble says, "Hey, what are you doing up here?" And I went home and never come back again. Frightened shit out of me.
And
Anyway, that tickle with the pedal car. Anyway, at last I got to the stage there. I come out this morning to get my pedal car and it was gone. Good, looked around, where's the pedal car? The old man had a few beers down the pub there and give it to Leslie Stanford. Give it all, what's Stanford's father? The old bloke's name? Eh?
Horry.
Horry Stanford, yeah, Horry.
Horry.
Must have had a few beers at Horry. He must have wanted a car or looking for one for his young bloke. And the old man's got one up there. So he went and give him mine. And I was a bit annoyed about that for quite a long time after. But I was too big for it, you see.
Fred got any
Oh, well,
If you're the oldest, you would have known.
I go back to one episode of must have about 1924 when they went to the cherry gardens in a buggy, Mum and Dad, and they had a small pony, white pony, and in this buggy, and Jack was about 3 or 4. He ate anyway. Jack ate cherries, stones and all, and got a bit sick. But how we got out there on this hot day with this buggy there and there and back. It's a fair way out to these
you remember it, Jack?
cherry
I remember
gardens.
going out. I remember going out in the horse.
I don't remember Jim being there, but he must have been.
I remember going.
That was 1924, and we took a young lady with us too. She was about 14, and because
This
Mum
was
was
when there was only the 3 of you, was it?
yeah, Jack was the baby. Yeah, it was 3 or 4.
I must be 6 or 7.
And,
I remember.
I don't think Dos was born.
I don't remember
No,
that.
she wasn't born. She was 24, I think.
A long one.
Well, I wasn't born.
You weren't
But
even
Mum
born.
was a tremendously nervous person, and she nearly it was terrible going out there because there was a bit of a drop on the side. Like you thought it was about 1,000 feet below, but it was only. But she thought we were going to be killed any moment. You know, the horses ran off the road, and this other business which the others don't know much about.
Mum thought the thick
They went to Corrup round a bit before Jack was born, about 1920. They're my earliest memories at Corrup, and that's down from Elmore. If you know, don't know where Corrup is, and they must have went to work on a farm. For what reason I don't know, but why Dad would take Mum to a farm when she was scared of even scared of sheep, I think. But anyway, she could, and she was scared of the boss, which was the worst part of it. I don't know whether he had made the advances or not. I don't really know.
So Pop was actually working.
He was working for the-
rousing or
Yes, and I think Mum must have been the cook to look after the.
Yes. She was housekeeper.
Did he ever talk about it
Yes.
to you, Dos?
Yes, she told me she was housekeeper. She hated it.
She hated it, yes. And she was the worst person in the world to have taken that. Maybe he lost his job at Kelly's farm at Powlett because he went there when he started left school, and
He had a blind horse or something.
something like that. You know, I don't know the
He did
story.
at one stage.
He worked for old Robert Kelly.
Anyway,
And they bought our house.
in 1920, Bobby or Robbie, whatever his name was, the younger fella, might have been old enough to work the farm, I think, and Dad might have been sort of out of a job. But on the other hand, it might have been to go share farming or something like that. It may have been a bit of promotion in one way. Anyway, they came home, and then Jack was born in 1921, January 21. Auntie Jessie came to help out for Mum while she was having Jack. And when she came home, Jim wouldn't look at Mum. Auntie Jessie was she, you're not my mother, that's my mother there. That was Auntie Jessie. And Auntie Jessie always had a soft spot for
They're very much
Jim ever
alike, you know.
since.
They were much alike.
They're very much alike.
Yes, and that was that.
When they did the rousing, did they already own the house here or in Inglewood, or what was the story there? Like,
What about
when in these early days, did they own a home and then just went out rousing?
I'm not sure because those old receipts I gave the Bonza once about Mrs. Kelly buying the house for Dad and Mum, £100 and £1 a month, wasn't it? The repayments, no interest anyway.
Incredible.
And but we had all the receipts there for a while. It went back to about 1920 or 21.
But who got caught in the Gator Spears?
Oh,
Spears.
up at Spears. Oh yes, Tim got. That's right. I forgot that episode. Jim got his head caught in the railing fence. Must have poked it in. He was about
Picket fence, wasn't
about
it?
2.
Yeah,
No,
I
I think it was a
understand.
railing fence.
Well, I can understand it.
Mum telling us about that.
Yes, and Mum got
Well,
into
his head was stuck.
his
right
head was
in
stuck
it.
in, and we
He
couldn't
couldn't
get him out. He couldn't get it out.
Pickets come
And of
down
course,
like that, you see.
being only small,
And Mum, I put me there and gone down there, it's got jammed there. Instead of lifting me bloody head out, I suppose I went down that way. Like a bit of a V, you know.
How'd they get you out? They have to cut the fence
they had to
up.
cut it. Yes, 'cause I was,
Cut it,
only-
I'd be stupid turn out, I think.
I was about 5, so I don't remember a great deal. But I do remember
Like,
Mum.
if they moved me bloody head aside, it might have come out, you know.
No, you had to be cut
You
out.
could just cut your ears off.
But you
Yeah,
can
I
imagine
remember
Mum
Mum
running
tells us
around.
about
Yeah,
that.
all that came, but yeah.
Jim, do you remember any instance when you were young, like Fred was relating about the cherry garden? Do you remember anything that's
Of course I remember the cherry garden.
Anything else?
That trip, well, first of all, it was about 110 in the shade.
It was very hot. Yeah.
Very hot in November, and Dad took this horse out. Well, it's 26 mile out there. When they got out there, Dad thought to himself, well, it's about the end of the bloody journey, but you've got to come back 26 miles, you see. We never got back till next day. I went all night and they killed the horse down. And when he brought the horse home and put it out, took it out of the shafts, this little nice, beautiful little buggy, Dad thought, now, is the horse going to be dead in the bloody morning? You know, the horse was just wringing bloody wet. This hot, stinking hot day, and they're pulling the buggy, which is heavy to pull that little buggy, 4 wheels, and a heap of us kids in it, you know.
It was.
And Dad always reckoned that horse nearly died. I never got over that, I don't think, Dad, that trip. So he loved horses, and the journey was too big.
Is there any other trips that they took you on, or was that sort of like a big occasion, the Cherry Gardens? Or was there other ones you went out on with them?
Oh, well,
Down
other
to the
people,
river,
other
wasn't there?
people went on horse and gigs, but I'm bucket of mine, I mean, other
no
people got
motor
on,
cars.
but
I don't remember any.
there was no motor cars much.
Didn't you have a cart one time?
But
We did, yeah.
Dad had a car.
it was all right.
That's
The
too
Cherry
far,
Garden
yeah.
was down
I
at
don't remember
Bridgewater,
that.
4
I don't
miles,
remember
been
going
sensible.
anywhere, mate.
But it was
Yes,
26
I remember
miles
going to
out.
Bendigo, innit?
It takes you 2 or 3 hours to go out there and back in a bloody car. But Dad never worked that out, you see.
Took all that.
Did Pop drive a car?
Yeah.
Yes, he had
Yeah,
a car
Ford.
about
Ford.
20,
Anyway,
26 or 7
He
or
started it up
28. It was
and-
the mailman's car, wasn't it?
he started up in the
The
yard
ribs.
there, and all of a sudden, the old man had jumped to one side and took off, hit the bloody tree and bounced off in the
That's the
yard.
Ford
As
motor,
soon as it
yeah,
started, he
yeah.
was to take off.
We had to put the bricks under the wheels
Yeah.
to start to crank it up and take them all out when they get going. Because they run over the bloody top of him when
I
he
can
cranked
remember
it.
No, clutch wouldn't work on it.
I remember going to Bendigo, and all us kids, we know he must have been there. We all get going. On the way into Bendigo, it conked out. Anyway, he had to borrow a pocket knife off a bloke to clean the plugs on the road. So, you know, Bendigo, the first thing he done, he bought a pocket knife to clean the plugs coming back. You get a bucket of that, yeah, clear carbon up.
Pocket
plugs. So he had to buy a
Bloody
pocket knife
pocket
first thing.
Bloody pocket knife.
Cleaning all these plugs out all the time. But that was a T Ford.
Get a pocket
Yeah,
knife.
yeah,
I don't
difference,
remember
I
that,
Don't
you know.
you?
No.
He had an old Douglas motorbike after that. So he went back on the push bikes and the old Douglas motorbike, which used to ride the mill. And only had a carbide light on it, and you couldn't see anything much with that. So they put a generator off a push bike on it, cut a slot in the mud guard, and put an ordinary generator, a push bike generator on it back in them days. But I used to get a new pair of shoes, a boots for school about every 2 or 3 years or something when my feet eventually grew out of them. Then you get about 3 sizes too big and keep them patched up till I couldn't fit in them anymore. And I was due for a new set of boots. And I had these ones out with little silver buckles on them, which you twist on the top, about the top 3 with little, you didn't have to shred them.
Yeah.
Oh. I wanted a pair of them. All the other kids had them. Fat top boots. Anyway, the old man went to Bendigo on the Douglas to get me boots. Come home, been stopping in Morong and Bridgewater, all pissed on the time we got home. Plonk on the table. There's the new boots. opened the parcel up, one boot. He lost the other one on the way. And I had this boot sitting at home for years. This one brand new boot.
Is that wild?
I remember that.
Oh, I think
He
that,
went to cry every time I looked
oh,
at
I
it.
think that's a sad story.
What did Nana think of you blokes all riding motorbikes and that? She liked motorbikes?
I don't
She
know.
hated them.
Did she?
Oh, she used to hate motorbikes.
Yeah, she was always
She said,
nervous.
look, you'll all be killed in these things. She couldn't stand them.
And I can remember the tale where she was relaying something about Jack speeding into the yard on the motorbike and falling off it. He fell off in the yard, and anyone that came to the house and Mum retold the story, she would fall on the ground while she was telling it. He went like this. And so because Mum was very dramatic
And
at
it
times.
didn't,
wasn't she?
yeah, and the other thing was that day, and Archie was that mad, he sort of grabbed it and threw it away. And Mum says, he picked it up and he threw it.
Threw the motorbike over the bike.
Yeah, she told the story a million times about Archie throwing his motorbike away. Oh, he was a strong man.
What happened to that? I forget what happened to it.
I think he just got annoyed because he fell off it when he come in the
I don't
yard.
know what happened.
No, you remember,
set, wasn't it?
you remember
It was a fella.
you were down in Bridgewater. I think it was Bridgewater.
Oh, yes, it got run over.
And somebody knocked it over.
Oh, yes, that was brand new, yes,
And
that's
it was
right.
brand new. And when you came home, you was that disgusted because it had a dent in the tank.
Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah, a mud
And
guard or something.
you threw it to hell in the yard.
I
Brand,
don't remember that.
You know,
I bought it on Saturday morning and it was run over Saturday afternoon. That's what made me wild. Come out of the pub and this old Chev backed over it.
Oh, gee.
Oh, Jesus, I wasn't wild. Yeah, Jesus.
No, yeah, Archie used to get pretty
I
savage.
got out of the bloody car. I said, pick that bloody bike up, I said. They wasn't going to pick it up. Made them pick it up and that was no good. But going to pick it up.
But going back to how nervous Mum was, she was terrified of snakes. It was a hell to play around our
Storms
place.
as well, thunderstorms.
And thunderstorms, yeah. And when there was a storm on, and she had me the same way, I was only a little kid at the time, as soon as the thunder went, her and me both under the bed.
And covering
you
the
remember
mirrors.
this,
Yeah.
Mum, don't you? The thunderstorm.
Yeah, and covering the
It
mirrors
took
up.
me years to get out of that habit of wanting to get underneath the bed. I still don't. I was about 12 getting under the bed with Mum.
The dog still do it.
And she'd have all
My
the
dog still
mirrors
does.
covered with blankets.
Speaking of
You
that,
couldn't use
speaking of
knives
the bed
before.
business,
No knives, fork, everything
we
sure
all
had
went
to
to
be
the
covered
pit.
over and under the bed after that. And the thunder
She was
outside
a
and all
very,
that.
very nervous
So,
person.
was it what you couldn't get to cover things up too?
Yes.
She
Everything.
covered the knives and
Anything.
forks
Remember
up. You know that?
Thunderstorms with
And-
your mum?
She covered the knives and forks up.
And no
Well,
way could you put new shoes on the table. She'd go mad if you put a pair of new shoes on the
Well,
table.
you do that.
Well, I know because I got that from Mum. You dare not put new shoes
No,
on the
that's bad
table.
luck. No, you're not
Mum
supposed
was
to.
a very nervous person. Like
And she
she
had
was
a lot of
She's
superstitions.
superstitious, was she?
Yeah.
I was well, yeah.
always talking about people, though, you know, people not well and all that. And I remember one time she told us about her auntie. One of her aunties, she was another fidget of a woman. Must have took after her in the family somewhere, you know. But she was always sick and worrying about her health and God knows what. And the kids used to, and Mum said they nearly killed her, you know, one time with fright. She said she went to the room one day to use the commode, like that was the Jerry. They had no toilets them days. They used to sit on a pot under the bed, you know, do a wee or anything. But the bloody kids, they went and got a handful of fruit saline, that
Oh,
fizzy
yeah,
drink
yeah.
stuff, you know, and they put it in the pot. And of course, when she sat on it and done a wee, it foamed up underneath it. It all come up like froth. And when she looked at, oh my God, she said, me kidneys and me bladder, everything collapsed. She come out howling and Mum said, she really died. Oh God, she said, the kids frightened the hell out
I
of me.
remember that.
It would have been funny though.
But
You can imagine what she thought when she seen all this foam, you know.
Yeah.
Gee.
But I was just saying to Matthew and Julie yesterday, what Mum could do with a copper full of water was an amazing
Yeah.
thing because she'd start in the morning, she'd wash all the clothes. By the time we got home after school, the house had been completely washed out because we had lino in those days. And what water was left after that was put into the old tin bath and we all got a bath.
You all remember
You see,
that?
she could do that with a copper of
Oh,
water.
yeah, all them things.
Well, what we want to know
Yeah.
is who got the first turn and who got the last.
Well,
In
we
his
don't
farm.
know. He might have been
Well,
all
well,
in
when
you and
together.
I were kids,
There'd been
never
more
in the
water than when
kitchen.
I went. I
Yeah.
suppose they all
With
have
an
a
old
pee in
tin
it.
tub on the floor, and towels on the floor, and then
Oh, I
She was
think-
we'd
amazing.
all have a bath in this tub on the floor.
I
And
think
then
of that
step out
now.
on a towel, and Mum would dry it, and the other one to get in, and we'd all
That's
wash
right.
that way, you know, 'cause there's no
So this
bath.
was Monday nights was bath night.
And my fond memories of Mama's sitting before the stove with Bonza there, because Bonza and I were around about the same age, so we were sort of,
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
at that same
because
time.
Peter was born
It was only 3 years
later.
different.
Yeah, and she'd have one hand up my back and one up Bonza's, and she'd be scratching our back, and we'd be rocking. You know,
Yeah.
you know how it's
Ah,
beautiful to
yeah.
have you. And she
Yeah,
used to
get
do
your back
that. But I think this is Christmas time. This is being filmed, of course, Christmas 1997, and I think we can think of Mum. In many Christmases gone by, having to cook a hot Christmas dinner in that kitchen, and she did that for
done it
so
for years.
many years, and the perspiration running off, and
Yeah,
no
but
cooling.
You know what,
She was a
Christmas?
remarkable woman. I
She
think.
didn't mind heat though.
No,
Yeah, they were way out
You
of
remember the
but she was
Christmas
remarkable.
that Dad
Yeah.
gave her a drink of wine after
Yeah.
Christmas?
Yeah.
And Dad gave her about half a glass of wine right on dinner time, you know. And Mum couldn't drink, you know. She sort of couldn't stand or couldn't hold alcohol as far as that goes. Anyway, after she had this half a glass of wine, I was there and I remember she said, "Oh, Mick," she said, "I do feel faint." And of course, we're just about ready to have Christmas dinner. And Mum got that way she couldn't bloody well walk.
She
and
just
Dad
passed
finished
out.
up, he carried her and put her up in the bed. That was the finish. She passed out.
Yeah, well,
The bloody wine settled her.
Mum couldn't drink it. Well, he didn't drink it at all. And when I was a kid, I used to go down and play with Ronnie, the Stewarts down there, the Stewarts, you know, Ronnie Stewart and that. I used to play with them. Anyway, it must have been about 9 o'clock or something one night, and I still didn't come home. So Mum come down looking. Well, of course, Mickey Mitchell and Jenny Stewart, they live in that time. And you know what they were like. Come in, and the next thing they know, they got Mum on the wine. And if she wasn't cooked after that lot, she come home peddly, didn't know where she was, and had to take me home. And she never stopped talking about that either. They got her on the wine down there.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we have to draw your attention to the fact that Bonza has to leave soon, right? You're going to Bendigo, aren't you? So, and it is just a little minute or so after 11 now. What do you want to do now,
didn't
Matt?
get
Maybe
argues.
do one just wrapped
well, you
up.
better go through our
Well, I
wages
got
for
nothing.
starting.
I don't know. What do you mean?
What we
You
might
want
do
Jack's
is we'll-
age.
You didn't get Jack's
Birthday.
age. You got to
No,
say,
you haven't done them all yet at all. You didn't
Oh,
take
well.
the first time, you? Oh, you did.
I'm what? Born in 1921, 30th of January, 1921. Yeah.
Who are you?
what age are you now?
76.
This birthday.
Now.
Now.
77 next birthday.
77.
And your name is Jack or John? You were
Well,
christened what?
there's the thing gets some beat. But that's
Christian-
Jack or John now.
What
I
were you
say
christened?
Jack in some places and John in others.
What's
But
on
I
your
think
birth
you were
certificate?
christened John.
John, I think. John.
No second name.
No,
Wonder
Why do
what?
they call you Arky?
don't know. No, he gets
I think
married,
we've got-
doesn't he?
Yeah, I think
Where's
we've got
Noe
everything.
come from?
Relay the story about the
No,
time
no,
you
no,
were
no.
both working at the
No
hotel, and someone said something, and you said, "Well, I'm about your names." You tell it about the no. Well, you said, "I'm no, wait a minute. Noe in the ark outside. Isn't there a story about that? He's Noah, and I'm the ark.
We got that way a bit, but how I got now, he was one Frosty morning was school, and we're kicking the football, and I said, I can't kick the ball. I said, I got no toes, which was a Frosty morning. I got Noe then after that, no toes, and I got Noe.
Oh,
That bloody
did
cold, I couldn't kick the ball with Frosty morning. You know, I thought, geez.
Well,
And Arky, we don't know where
I
Arky
Now
thought
we got
now,
Arky.
where I thought it'd come in. It didn't when we went to school. Jack Dunley or Pack Dunley. I mean, didn't he call you
Oh,
Noe
yeah.
or something?
Something like that.
Because when I started, he said, "Well, there's Ark,
Yeah,
Noah's Ark."
that was
Oh,
Got that
That's
way
how
with
it sort of
Steve.
Now
started.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
that
He said,
way
"That's
of it.
Noe." He said, "And that's Ark,
Yeah.
Noah's Ark."
Noe was Aki, and then
So I think that's how it started. Started with school.
And
What
then you
about-
got
Bonza?
what'd
Bonzi,
you
your
get?
name?
I was always Dossie. I'm Dossie in Inglewood. And that's right. It was sort of makes me smile a little. Whenever I come to Inglewood, everyone calls me Dossie.
Yeah, they
But
do.
you see, in Board, I don't get that.
No.
No.
And Bonzi, your name? Where'd that
Well,
come from?
That Bonza, well, I asked Mum one time, I said, I remember asking about it, but she said, you was a Bonza baby. We called you Bonza.
Yeah.
That's how I got that name.
So you've never been called Arthur.
No, if anybody
Very seldom.
calls me Arthur, well, I don't know who you're referring to because I only know me as Bonza anyway.
Do you sign your name Arthur or Bonza?
Oh, yeah, it's on my name Arthur.
So if you're in a room with an office and they sort of go, Arthur, you wouldn't even bother turning around because you'd think they were talking to someone else.
No, that's right.
He's Arthur David, aren't he?
Jim's another thing. He don't
He's
take it
Arthur
that
David, you know.
He had a-
Arthur David.
He had a girlfriend called on him down to Grades one time,
Yeah.
and they only knew him as Bonds, and they said probably Freddie Appleby knew his name was Arthur. And they said this girl come in there and she wanted to, she's a bit toffy, and
That was
she didn't like
Shirley
either.
Garden, remember her name?
She didn't like either of those names, so she says, "Is David here?"
Yeah.
David who?
Yeah, she come waltzing around the
Well,
garage.
I couldn't get over it.
Is David, are you there, David? And Freddie Appleby come around me boss, you know, and he thought, who's this bloody piece here looking for David? David, are you there? And she called me David. I'm under a car there.
Arthur David.
My God, Freddie laughed for a week over that. David, she's calling me.
But,
Peter, they just call you Peter, Andy, don't they?
Oh, yeah, various nick. Yeah.
You got Pedro, didn't you?
Pedro, Pop Cummins used to call me Peter Bonzanaki. He used to go through the lot. He used to call me everybody's names here.
Yeah.
Go through them all.
No, he
Bonza
ain't.
Peter,
He
Pedro
Pedro
Archie, no he
Bonza
what?
Oh,
Right, Fred.
I got fuzzy at one stage.
Yeah.
You can tell.
yes, Fred
That's
had
quite.
very curly hair.
Yes.
Yes, she did. I remember that.
Are we finishing up at this point? Almost.
Oh, yeah. We'll
Look, I want to say that I don't know whether I should or not, but Mum and Dad were married the night before I was born. I don't know whether everyone knows it or not.
Well,
And I can imagine the state my mother must have been in leading up to my birth. I think Grandma and Aunt Kath must have got together and got the marriage on the way before I came on the scene, because I can imagine they didn't want me being born out of the
And
wedlock, as
wedlock.
the state thing was. And so
I didn't know that.
they were married in the sacristy of the Catholic Church up here the night before, as far as I know. And I was born at 9 o'clock on the Friday morning, the next morning. And but I often think she must have been in a terrible
Oh, I can imagine.
state of nerves.
Mum
And
always
then-
had a secret. That must have been what it was. She was always something
Was it?
to say.
I didn't know until I saw the birth certificate.
tell me one
So when did you actually find out?
I
Like
wasn't-
you'd never discussed. This was something
No,
that
we
was
didn't-
never
no.
discussed in the family.
Well, I'd never heard that.
And I don't know if it was the first marriage or second marriage I found out.
Yeah, first I've ever heard of it.
And the other thing that affects me,
late breaking news.
the other thing that affects
Did you know, Jude?
Did you know?
Yeah, I knew. Somebody told me.
I've never gone into those things. I've sort of never worried about those things.
Well, I knew.
No.
Well, the other thing that affects me is that Mum desperately wanted me to be a girl, and I consider that's the reason why or one of the reasons why I'm different to the rest. I've never been happy being the outsider. I've always thought I was
How do you mean an outsider?
of the boys. I just didn't fit in making carts and doing
You're
this,
a
that, and the
gentler
other.
person, that's all. Just gentler.
Yes, but anyway, she wanted a girl, and I was more inclined that way. I don't know whether they say that the mother can't influence the baby with her. Well, the expert opinion is that you can't be influenced, but I'm not too sure about it. And so, but anyway, be that as it may, I'm very grateful that I've to have been born anyway. And I also want to say that as I'm the oldest, I feel that I must be the first one to go of our group, and
I wouldn't think so.
but I only hope that I'll be like Frank, and I reckon there's a better world coming when I get there.
So,
You're all still looking pretty fit now.
okay.
You all look like you could have a beer or two.
Bloody oath. And it won't be far off.
Well, Margaret's got one there for you if you want one.
I don't know, but I reckon I've been close to it. When I was in bloody hospital, I thought they were going to come out.
But you're looking pretty
You
good.
feeling all right, Jack? You look
Come
all
on, better.
You're feeling better. You look
But
well.
I reckon I was on the way. I reckon they had me Neville name amongst the old people, 85 and that. I thought I'd get join them all. Would never come out. You see, I'd one getting wheeled out. And I thought I might be next.
Didn't the bloke tell you to go in there, you never come out
Yeah,
alive?
yeah. I always thought when I was a kid. Well, don't go in that place there in Bendigo. When you go in there and wheeled out there, never forgot that. When I was in there, I said to the bloke, I said to him, fella, told me years ago, once you get in there, you said you're wheeled out of here. You never come out.
Anyway, I reckon,
Julie,
I reckon, Julie, I reckon we've been a very lucky family in one way, all of us,
You're lucky you're all alive. I
because
think it-
we've had such a marvellous run,
Yeah, well, 3 had war service of us.
well, Jim.
and
Yeah,
you
Jim.
know, there's a lot of families that have sort of thinned out, especially the Inglewood ones that we know. There's a lot of families that are not here anymore, and to think that this particular occasion here, that all of us are lucky enough to be here, and our ages are getting well on. You know, we're all
Getting close to the top.
80 and
All
over,
over 60,
getting
all
up
over
in the
60,
60s, into the ages where people have passed on, a lot of people, you know. So I do consider that we're a very lucky family to be sitting here.
And you're lucky you all talk to each other.
And
as
I
well.
think we can thank Mum and Dad for that because they evidently were a very healthy couple. Passed it on to us.
Oh, yeah. They were healthy and
Yes.
they brought us up. Well, I probably had the easiest life because they were sort of getting older and sort of let me go a little bit. You know, I didn't have it as rough as the others.
You see, Mum had you quite late in life.
Yes,
you know.
Mum's about 45.
They're sort of a bit too old to sort of be bothered with me much, but I must have just worried them terribly.
And the time that Jim was a prisoner of war for 3
Yeah,
years,
that
and,
was a
and
worry.
I can remember the day we got the telegram.
Yeah, I can too.
And I was going to the pictures or something like that. And Dad said, "You are not to go out of this house," because he said he might be dead. That was what he said about Jim. And it was really, the house was in mourning.
Yeah.
Because at that time we got a telegram saying he was missing, wounded in action.
Wounded in action.
And that at to the Watsons was as I've said, he's dead.
Well,
you know what I mean?
it could be anything.
Yes. And it was a
It was a frightening telegram,
very,
you know.
very traumatic and time for the Watsons and Mum. I don't know how Mum ever lived through that, you know,
She must have put in
because that was a terrible.
When did you find out that Jim was still alive and he?
Well, then of course later that came through that he was a prisoner of
Is
war.
this days or
Yeah, we.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
it was
I
a
can't
month or
put-
two afterwards. We got a letter
Yes.
from the, I suppose it was from the army. Anyhow, it
I
come from-
forget now.
that he
No,
was a
we knew
prisoner
where
of
I
war in
was.
Malaya.
You know?
No, it was
No,
dreadful.
we knew, even my own mob didn't know who I was.
you knew where you were?
He was in Malaya, wasn't he? A prisoner, or Singapore.
No, first of all, I met all these Japs. There was thousands of them. You know, there's more what you read. There's more what you read in the paper. Anyhow, I got shot there, and the bloke alongside me got shot in the back of the bloody head there. Anyhow, the old padre said, "Oh, you'll have to go to HBH." And the ambulance pulled up there, and he said, "Get in." And I got in. They wheeled me in there. I got in. I could walk around anyhow on this leg. And when I got in there, it was a Panjab and Gurkha. It was 4 of us. 2 Panjabs, a Gurkha, and myself. Now I went up this bloody back block in the jungle somewhere and to get this thing stitched up, and I was a bloody interpreter. They couldn't speak English. And the Pommy Mobby went there. These blokes shouldn't be here. Said, "You're supposed to go to your own unit." I said, "Don't the driver know where we're going? The bloke who drove the ambulance, doesn't he know where the hell he is in the place? I don't know where we are here." And so they got out and stitched this up and bucketed about, and that's when nobody knew where we were, you see. Our mob didn't know where I was. And I finished up at General Hospital, HBH, you know. And the nurses, they fixed it up again, this bloody leg here, and I could buck it up. I couldn't walk much.
Was that before you were taken prisoner? Wow.
Before I was taken prisoner, all this there.
The Japs
And
hadn't
then
taken over the hospital.
when I got in this big hospital, right where all the nurses were, HBH, that's the big hospital, you know.
Yeah.
And there was only about 3 of us in there then. See, we were frontline soldiers. The war hadn't started going properly yet.
No.
And the nurse came around and said, would you like your back washed? Oh, I said, please your top. Oh, she said, you're an ignorant man. Well, I don't know what you want your back washed. Well, I had to say yes, dear, or yes, darling, or something. You know, all that cape you had to say, you know. What would you say if you want the back washed?
Oh, yeah, go ahead and run.
How long were you
Yeah.
there in that hospital?
I was in there about
When
a
did this prisoner of
fortnight.
war thing start? Then after
And then,
this?
Yeah, well, the Japs had taken over by then, hadn't they?
no, they hadn't quite taken, they hadn't taken over then, no. So only that about 3 or 4 weeks. And I got out of that and went down to, and want to know where my unit was. I couldn't hardly walk about, I got a bit stiff. Oh, we'll have to get a go on, go back to the army. So I found 9 Mob up at Johor Bahru, up the other side. And that time they capitulated. They were still fighting.
Yeah.
Singapore had fallen.
Yeah.
And we had don't know anything about it. It was all bucking around, lost a few blokes after that. We didn't know the bloody war was over. And they didn't know. So that was that. So
Where was the camp you was in the prison? In Shanghai, Malaya?
no, then we walked from Singapore to Changi then. And I had this crook leg, and they kept butting me with a bloody rifle to keep going. I had to keep up with them with this bloody crook leg all the time. Wasn't healed, you see.
Were they very cruel, Jim?
Oh, cut your head off, anything like that. Just a bit of, that's nothing.
Pretty cruel.
And then I came back to Singapore after, I was there about a fortnight at Changi. And my leg was starting to get a bit better, and they come in for a working party. These Japs on this truck. I said, I'm into this. Bugger this here. I don't care bugger where we're going to be better than this bloody place. So I was about 240 of us went into Singapore to clean up all the bombing raids. Like all the dead bodies and Christ knows what after all the bombing. And we got into Nafe and cleaned all the Nafe up, and I found some of them postal notes with my mates' names on them, their addresses, so I could find out and write on a letter where the hell we are, you know, some that got killed. I still got some in the door home, them things. And then the Jap come around and with food tasting, and they come across some laxettes. And I thought, oh, I'll try one. So I give the Jap the bloody pack, and he had him. I never seen him next day. I got rid of him.
I move you tomorrow, all right?
Yeah.
You move.
I don't know how they got on. I could have got my head cut off to come back next day.
He must have thought, oh, he thought they were lollies too. He had
Yeah,
one.
bloody
They
well.
weren't they?
That was in Singapore, was it?
Back in the Singapore proper, yeah.
But then you were in Karangi too, weren't you? Karangi.
No, well, it's Kranji. Oh, well, yeah, but then I was in the longest prisoner of war camp,
Oh,
Black and Matty.
Bakamati.
I was there for 3.5 years, or a fortnight short of 3.5 years.
Long
And the rest of them did all this Burma Road mob were out the back in Changi, half of them. You don't take notice of all that caper.
Did you work there? Like they give you stuff to do?
Oh, we were loading shells up. I worked on the shipping, on all Maroos, and loading bombs and shells and cordite and God almighty, everything like in the bloody like barges, and we done a lot of work.
Those shells were about 500 pounds, weren't they?
Yeah, kilos. There was the kilos there. 1,000 kilos.
Well, one person couldn't handle those. How many?
Oh, well, we had the, that's what I think was all bullicking.
2,000 pounds.
We sunk one barge there one time. We put that bloody much on it. We told him, I said, you poon, we used to call them poons, you know. I said, this thing's overloaded here. More speedo. So we put the whole fucking lot on. It all went down the bloody water. At last, the bloody tide went out. We're sitting on the bottom.
Probably still there.
Yeah, and then when the tide come in, it was overflowing. So we stood on the top of it and started bailing the ocean out. Except we had to bail it out and the ocean's coming
Oh,
in.
that was possible.
Millions and millions and thousands of gallons of the ocean. So 2 foot of tide. In fact, the whole world we were barging out. Oh, Christ. Yeah. We had our funny times at times, you know.
Anyone else got any other things
Before
they'd
we
like
go?
to close with or put down in prosperity for the family album?
Because I'll get a copy of all of this. Will go to everyone so that you'll have a copy of it. But it'd be good for grandkids and all the other relations.
So if you had a hand on.
It's a family history. It's
There was nothing said in much about mum's side of the family.
The butchers.
The
Do you know
butchers
anything about them, anyone?
and our aunties, grandmas and stuff.
Well, Fred
But I don't
might-
know much about them.
Fred
Anyone
might-
know much about the butchers, Mum's side?
Well, I'll tell you about Mum. We went to pictures one night in Inglewood. We went and seen one of them haunted pictures. I think it was the Cat Creeps. where
There was a cat.
yeah, and he used to change into an animal, this bloke. Some bloody weed he had. And when he had it, he changed into a bloody wild boar, pig or something. Something bloody terrible. It was all lightning and all this, while this picture's going on. And when we were coming home, I'm bugging it's not a thunderstorm. So we're heading home, and no lights in the street much. And this thunder coming, and Mum started, oh, come on. We all went home, I'm going underneath the bloody bed. And Dad came home a few beers in, and what in the bloody hell's going on? And Dad said, you're not going to no more of them pictures. This haunted pictures, eh? We were scared stiff. like little chickens
Who
under
was it?
the...
Was you?
We felt like little chickens under the hen bird, all underneath this little coop under there.
Did all of you go to the flicks that night, or was
I
it,
don't remember.
Might have been doctor.
It was more than me.
you weren't?
An
Well,
architect
that's the
there or
point
something.
they used to.
But that we were frightened the pictures, it was haunted, it was real.
Dr. Jekyll and
We always
Mr.
reckoned
Hyde
the
and
pictures
all
were
that.
real, when we were kids. Like with none of this bloody television, we always reckoned it was real. Fair dinkum, this damn picture.
Oh, I could see him ducking down under the
Yeah.
seats. There's
My word, it was.
the bloody train coming, or the horses standing, the people weren't.
What about old Billy Biddle and Aunt Pole? They're the ones who used to get wound up in pictures. Jesus.
But
They were funny.
But Mum really didn't have it
Another
an
camera,
easy
wasn't it?
life because her mother died and left there was Mum and Auntie Jessie and Auntie Jean and Uncle Alan, and there was another little girl. Her name escapes me for the moment. Eveline. And she was scalded to death
Right.
because in those days they wash out in the yard, and she fell into the bucket of hot water.
Oh.
But apart from that, when their mother died, and she died quite young, Mum's
You often
mum.
told us about the copper business.
Yes, and so they had it tough because
And your mother had another child as well too, didn't she? Was there another?
my mother.
Yeah, wasn't there another?
Yeah.
boy?
Oh yeah, she lost a boy between Jack and myself. Yes, that's why there's. So I'm 72 and Jack's 76. See, so there's that lapse there.
And did that child die in infancy, or?
It was born dead. Yeah.
Mum
had a fall.
She had. I think Mum had a fall.
Did you ever fall outside?
Yes. Yes. So no, Mum never had it easy.
No, she had a pretty
Does anyone
tough
remember
life.
your mum's side, the butcher's side, or anything
Well,
about
Fred
that?
would, wouldn't
That's
you?
grandfather, because he died in 1923 or 4, so I was about 8 then, 7 or 8. And he used to take me for walks up to the rifle butts and looking for old lead bullets. He used to save the lead, melt it down for some reason. But I don't know much about him apart from that. He did have a,
He used to smelt all the gold for the battery. Didn't
yes, he had a lot of old papers like the World's News. I don't know whether that's still in circulation, the World's News, but it used to have a very lurid cover on it with like a chap being killed by an octopus or a crocodile or something. And I can't remember a great deal. He died in Melbourne when he did die, and he was brought up to Inglewood to be buried with. I've been trying to get that straight recently because he was buried with his first wife, with his wife rather, who died a few years before, and the little child was also buried with them, as far as I can find out. And so that was that.
Does anyone
But,
know how Nana and Pop met? Like, was it just they were in the town together, or does anyone know the story of how they actually
Never
met together?
I imagine Mum didn't want to turn Catholic. I think must have been one of the problems.
No, I don't think so because
Well,
when Mum was dying, and she became a Catholic
Yeah,
at
she
that
did
stage,
then,
and I said to her, "It's funny, Mum, that you hadn't become one years ago because rearing us and everything." And she said no one asked her. That was her answer to that. So
Well, who was...
she's waiting to be asked.
Let's talk about who's a Scotch woman, the red-headed some relation to Auntie
Well, that's
Wilson.
on.
Who was
That
that?
was on Mum's mother's
This often
side.
talk about some woman.
Mum's
Wild.
the
She's
Watkins.
pretty wild.
The Watkins.
Watkins.
Yeah.
They were
was
the
it?
Watkins.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yes, they-
She used to have to go and get drink for that one, didn't she?
yes, they
Go to the
lost their
hotel and
crop.
get a
'Cause
jug
they
of beer.
came out in the gold rush days, I think. Those
Yes.
people. Yes.
Oh, there were
But-
quite a few of the
But,
Watkins.
All come from Wales.
Grandfather Butcher, or, as you know, was a miner and he was into this gold reef and everything, and he maintained that the Watts' house, where Jim lives now, our old home, is over a reef of gold. Is that how you call it? A reef?
Yeah, they couldn't find one there. Something.
Yeah, and he reckons that's where it is. It's under our house.
It's under mine.
So Jim, you're literally
The
sitting
old
on a gold
butcher's
mine.
turning out. Yeah.
You might be on a foot.
Anyway,